And so we like that this conversation is about focus, because that's what you help them do. And of course, is there a better comparative conversation than that of vision for focus? You can focus your ears to hear, and you can even sniff things out by focusing your smeller. But you usually don't say, I want to feel your skin extra well, so hang on, I'm focusing my fingertips. You usually don't use the word focus with touch. You could. Ooh, sensual is so much connected to alignment. So all of your physical senses are interpreters of vibration. All of them. Everything is an interpretation of vibration. It's just that you have these faculties in your physical body that most of you were born able to do. So you didn't have to teach yourself to focus in order to see. You just looked around and saw things. And we would like you to use that statement to your benefit relative to all desire. You just have to look around and see things. Or you just have to feel around and know things. This business of creation is not so difficult. But what you are pointing out is that sometimes when people have been focusing in a way without really being aware of what they're doing energetically, sometimes they focus themselves into a situation that is not pleasing. And then after you are finding yourself, as you discover yourself, we've been saying for a very long time that there are two ways to know the direction of your vibration, the mix of your vibration. One is by how you feel when you're offering it, because you have these 2 points of view. There's what your inner being thinks about every single thing, and there's what you think in relationship to what your inner being thinks about every single thing. And when you get far off from what your inner being thinks about every single thing, when you insist on seeing the world differently than your inner being is seeing it, then you get crossways. And then if you're not aware of it, then eventually you have some sort of a manifestation that points out to you the difference in your points of view. When you understand that, then it's not difficult to understand that someone who has been creating by default and who now has a situation that's easy to look at would have a hard time believing something that is different than the situation that they're looking at. What you're bringing to this forum is our favorite topic for today, which is, how do I, in my physical body, look out into the world of experiences and relationships and people and places and things, and how do I see the inner being of that person? Because that person and all of their antics is very obvious to me, because I'm accustomed to utilizing my physical senses to observe. But what if I care so much about my relationship with my own inner being that I have sort of suspended my attitude about the importance of observing through my physical senses, and I'm caring more about tuning to my own inner being, so that I, in combination with my own inner being, can see who they really are, not who they are usually accidentally demonstrating.
You're speaking about me as a therapist, or about them?
We're speaking about you as a therapist, combining with your therapist inner being, so that you and your therapist inner being can focus upon their inner being rather than the part of them that is so interested in standing on their head in all kinds of different ways to explain themselves to you. So they come to you, and who do you see? Therapist, that's the question that we're asking. Who do you see? If you're like most humans, you see who they are presenting themselves to be physically. And sometimes it's wonderful, and sometimes it's not wonderful, and sometimes it's exactly who they mean to present, and sometimes it's not who they mean to present. But you can't be dissuaded by whatever it is that they're doing, because whatever it is that they're doing must not be as important to you as what you're doing. You're saying, I'm going to hook up with who I really am, and therefore I'm going to see who you really are, and at least me and my inner being and your inner being are going to have a party, and you can do whatever you want to do. And usually in the beginning, when you do that, they'll say, hey, look over here, over here. But you must not look back. Their own inner being isn't. You must not look at them as they are being, unless they are in concert with their inner being, which will be so obvious to you. Is this helpful?
Yeah, very much. And if I'm trying to do it and I can't do it, like I'm trying to see the...
All that means is you've been part of this physical world and you've been accustomed to using your physical senses in your observational manner. We often say to you that most humans offer almost all of their vibration in response to what they are observing through physical senses. Well, that's fine, except that you can't help anybody unless you can hook into who they really are. Because who they really are is in their vortex. It's the vortex version of them that you are wanting to hook in with and magnify through your awareness to call them. You see, here's the thing. Regardless of what you're doing, maybe you're hearing us and maybe you're getting good at this, maybe not. But regardless of what you are doing, they are usually looking at the human you. And they will only benefit by knowing you if the human you is really hooked into the inner being you. You can't let them be the reason for the influence. And so that's what happens with so many people who are wanting to help someone improve a condition. The condition is so glaring that it's hard for the healer not to see it. But a healer who is not interested in looking back, a healer who's not interested in looking at the shell of a person, a healer who wants only to know the whole of the person, the true being of the person, who can't do that unless you're in cahoots with your inner being, then, oh, all kinds of things happen. Because then, as you're moving forward and they see you, and what you see is who they really are, that's the way they begin to catch glimpses of what you see. That's what upliftment is. And nothing else will do for you.